तं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hmm. Today we are starting from chapter 11. I'm just sharing the slides here. Okay, so this is a very special chapter because now, after chapter 10, after Krishna describes all of his opulences as a way to remember Krishna, now Arjuna actually wants to see Krishna. He wants to see how the world is uh, is pervaded by the Lord, how the world rests in the Lord. So Krishna says, "I'm the taste of water. I'm the light of the sun. I'm, the strength of the strong." So how is he all these things? What he's saying, is it just, is it just fluff, or is it actually something that is true? He wants it demonstrated. And in chapter 10, what was the other significant occurrence that took place in chapter 10? Who can say? What was the most significant occurrence that took place after the Chaturshloki Gita?
Was it that, Hare Krishna Prabhu, was it that Arjuna was convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he wanted to surrender? That he was convinced.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, exactly. What took place is that after the Chaturshloki Gita, Arjuna was convinced that he needs to fight. Krishna's instructions made sense to him. This is true. And now, what he wants to do for himself and for the rest of the world is he wants to confirm that, in fact, the person giving him this instruction to act out of devotion, out of service, which is the ultimate instruction of the Gita, that act just to serve me, that that person is actually God. So imagine the situation that after you receive instructions from someone, you have to go and kill or be the cause of 600 million people dying, right? You would want to make sure that the person giving you the instruction is trustworthy. So Arjuna has a much greater task than we do most of the time, and therefore he needs a greater um, uh, proof, a witness that indeed this is what I'm supposed to do. So that's why in the Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, he um, uh, he instructs Arjuna that first it's your duty. Then he says, act without attachment to fruits. But then when Arjuna says, well, there's many different duties and it's hard to know what is my duty, then he says, do it for me. Act out of loving service, which is the highest instruction of the Gita. And that instruction is only valid if the person giving that instruction is Krishna or Krishna's representative is pure devotee. And because the stakes of this instruction is so high, Arjuna says, Krishna, show me your universal form. Show me, prove it to the world that I'm not just saying that God told me to do this. That's why I went and blew up a building, right? Like many terrorists, they say, God told me to do this. But no, I'm sure indeed God told me to do this. Yes, very good, Indira. Thank you for reminding us of that. This is Krishna's instruction. This is Arjuna's test now that he's convinced. So, texts 1 through 8 is Arjuna's request and Krishna's description of his universal form. From 9 to 31 is Sanjay's description of Arjuna's vision. This chapter also establishes that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? Because only Krishna can show the universal form. From Krishna comes out Vishnu, a four-handed form. So all the avatars, excuse me, sorry, all the avatars of the Lord are also being shown as emanating from Krishna. And then Arjuna establishes for the world that Krishna's the original Brahman, the highest Lord of Lords. And then text 32 to 34, Arjuna says to Krishna, show me how you are, what's going to happen after this war and, what's meant to happen. And then Krishna shows, time I am. Nimitra matram bhavasabhyasachi, become my instrument. After that, once he shows all of this, then Arjuna prays to the Lord that now please let me see once again your beautiful two-handed form, because this form, though I asked you, I don't want to see it anymore. This is very, very scary. And then finally, Krishna comes back to his two-handed form, and Prabhupada's conclusion is that only pure devotees see Krishna's two-armed form. How beautiful and wonderful it must be, this two-handed form, that after seeing the entire universal form, after seeing Lord Vishnu with four hands, Arjuna still wants to see the two-handed form. That shows that it's the most beautiful, most wonderful form. Because otherwise, how is it that Arjuna would tell Krishna, oh no, please now come back to your two-armed form? because that form is the best of all. So now we start from the beginning. So the first section, Arjuna's requests and Krishna's description of his universal form. After hearing Krishna say that he pervades and supports the entire universe, Arjuna wishes to see that all-pervasive form of the Lord, right? Just like I was describing. Chapter 10 and 11, the connection is very clear. Krishna describes how he pervades the universe. Now Krishna wants to see that all-pervasive form of the Lord. Krishna first describes his universal form and then bestows upon Arjuna the vision necessary to see it. Right? So he first shows the universal form and describes it, and then says, okay, you cannot see it with the eyes that you have. Now, he was seeing Krishna. So why, if he's able to see Krishna, does he need special eyes to see the universal form? Prabhupada explains, in our case, we would need special eyes to see the universal form because we are seeing matter, where our eyes are, filled with material lust, anger, and greed. And so for us to see Krishna's universal form would require special eyes. But in the case of Arjuna, why does he need a vision, special vision necessary to see it? What is the reason? He needs to downgrade his eyes. Prabhupada says that he's actually seeing Krishna's transcendental form. And for him to see this universal form, which is a material form, it's Krishna's material form, he actually needs to downgrade his eyes. So he says this is some lecture or actually the purport, I cannot remember. But he doesn't need special eyes. He's seeing Krishna. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam sham sundaram achintya gunasvarupam govindam adi purusham tamam bhajami. Right, Lord Brahma says that what are the special eyes that a person has who can see Shama Sundar Krishna? Those eyes are prema anjana churita. That those eyes are eyes that are anointed with the anjana, with the salve of prema, with the kajal of prema. So Arjuna's eyes have premanjana, and they're already so purified that he can see Krishna, recognize Krishna. So he needs no eyes to see. He's seen the ultimate. But, to see this big material form, he needed certain goggles for that. So Bhagavad Gita 11:1, Arjuna begins. So we'll start with one prayer before that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Arjuna Vacha Mad Anugrahaya Paramam Mad Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna said, by hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. So again in this chapter, he begins with the point, clarifying to Krishna and to the readers that his illusion is gone, right? He's no longer in a bewildered state. Should I fight or should I not? Starting chapter 10, 8 chapters after that are just relishing. They're not needed for the job. Krishna's work is already done, but they're just to churn the ocean that Krishna's given him. So he's saying, my illusion has been dispelled. These are the most wonderful, confidential spiritual subjects. Now, Prabhupada makes these points. One can understand the nature of the Lord's form to the Lord's mercy. Arjuna does not ask to see the universal form for himself, but for others, to establish unequivocally the reality of Krishna's divinity. So he's convinced his illusion is gone. Now he's thinking, again, the soft-hearted warrior that he is. The very reason he didn't want to fight, which was compassion for others, for the citizens, for the kinsmen, for everyone there. Now he's thinking, Krishna's so wonderful. These instructions are so wonderful. But who will believe that Krishna is actually God? They're going to say he's just Arjuna's charioteer. Krishna wants to glorify his devotee by being his charioteer. And the devotee is meditating, how can I glorify Krishna so the whole world knows him? Right? How can I glorify Krishna so everyone in this world knows that he is Krishna? Although Arjuna has a strong desire to see the Lord, he cannot do so without the Lord enabling him. The Lord therefore bestows divine eyes, Divya Chakshu, upon Arjuna to see the universal form. So a certain type of divine eyes, like we said, ones that's needed to see this specific form. Krishna sets a criteria for being God. Those who claim that they're God must substantiate that claim by also showing the universal form. Right? So sometimes, like we say that Krishna's God, he demonstrated it because he lifted Govardhan Hill for 7 days and 7 nights on the pinky finger of his left hand. It's very true. Clearly that makes Krishna God, and clearly none of us here are God because of that reason. However, we read in the scriptures that sometimes great sages, they lift up mountains as well, right? The sage that took Giriraj from the Himalayas and brought him to Braja, he also lifted Govardhan Hill, right? And not only did he lift Govardhan Hill, but he flew with it in the air. So someone will say, well, is that sage also God? He's not God. So that means people who are not God can also do that. And if that's a criteria, then so many people will be God. Hanumanji lifted up a mountain to take to Lakshman and Lord Ram and flew across the sky. So many people have lifted mountains. But no one has shown the universal form. If someone actually shows that the entire universe is in them, then yes, they are God. So Krishna puts the ultimate test here, because there can be nothing more ultimate. If everything is within Krishna's body, then he has to be the complete whole. So when Krishna sees the universal form, what does he see? He sees Brahma, he sees Shiva, he sees Indra, he sees Varuna, he sees all the demigods within the body of that universal form, which is coming from Krishna, which is Krishna in universal form. He sees all the mountains, the planets, all the living beings going in and out within his body. So he is Purnam, the complete whole. Everything is shown as part and parcel. So that is the ultimate test shown in the Gita. This is why the Gita is the ultimate literature, the one that substantiates everything, because that's the ultimate test. And finally, D, a pure devotee situated in a transcendental loving relationship with Krishna is not attracted to the universal form. Rather, he is attracted to the Lord's loving features. So there's a lot in this chapter, and so that's why I have summarized some things. And if we get time, we can go back and read some of these verses. But we as aspiring devotees, we don't pray to see the universal form. We pray to see Krishna, because we want the uh, the rasa aspect of Krishna, not the Aishwarya aspect of Krishna. Right? Akila Rasamrita Murti, that is the name of Krishna. He is the Murti, the form of unlimited rasas, relationships. And he is Prema, he is the embodiment of Prema. And that is the aspect or the form of Krishna that attracts the devotee. So after Arjuna's request to see the universal form, then Sanjay describes the universal form to Dhritarashtra. And here's the description. This image is so amazing, isn't it? It's like so powerful. This is one of the images in the Gita, in all the editions of the Gita, and you show this to someone on the street when you're distributing Bhagavad Gita's, it just shocks them. They fall over. Wow. Vision of the universal form. During the revelation of the universal form, Arjuna's intimate relationship of friendship with Krishna is overshadowed by one of wonder. Right? An important division takes place between verse 19 and 20. In verses 10 to 19, Arjuna witnesses Krishna's universal form of opulences. This form is a vision of what was described in chapter 10, how Krishna pervades the entire material manifestation. Starting text 20, Arjuna describes his vision of the Lord's Kala Rupa, form of time, a vision of how, as time, the Lord pushes all material entities toward destruction. So, as you may know, that Arjuna's major concern from the beginning is about life and death, right? So many people dying. So Krishna in this vision is kind of broadening his vision that these people are all being, all destined to die. And by seeing this Kala Rupa form, Arjuna understands, okay, it's already been done by the Lord. It's been decided by the Lord. Now it is up to me if I want to be the Nimitta Matram, if I want to serve as the instrument to Krishna's will. So, so then he describes this because this is a very important aspect for him, one that he's struggling with always, until this point. That okay, all this is there, but how do I engage in a war that will kill so many people? And this shows him that Krishna is already doing this due to his plan. Kalosmi lokakshayakrit, time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds. So this is a famous text of the Gita, even in the material world, because one thing Gita has been read, and this is for many, many ages, and this is one that gets repeated. And also because when the nuclear bomb took off, then Oppenheimer recited this verse. When the nuclear bomb went off, he could not think of anything else than this verse of the Gita. Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, right? That's, an exhibition of Krishna's power. So, this power of time. Here's Oppenheimer. As a supersoul, Lord Krishna controls. Lord Krishna controls all cosmic events according to his will. As time, he is pushing all things toward destruction. The time factor is a force that Paramatma uses to run the material world. It transforms matter according to his cosmic plan. So, Krishna's time, why? Because everything is being moved. The ladle is being stirred by the power of time. Through the time factor, or the ladle is time. Through the time factor, Krishna has already arranged the death of all the Kurus. Arjuna need not worry about choosing to kill them or not kill them. They will be killed by the Lord's plan, regardless. Arjuna should become the instrument to execute the Lord's plan. The devotee willfully chooses to be controlled by Krishna. He becomes Krishna's direct instrument. The non-devotee desires independence from God and is indirectly controlled by Krishna through his material energy. The ultimate plan of the Lord is to purify the consciousness of the conditioned souls within the world. Krishna is merciful to the devotees who carry out his will in the world. He gives them the credit, although he is the actual doer of the action. So, a few points here. I'll go one more. That everyone has to surrender to Krishna. So, everyone should choose to surrender to Krishna. Why? Because ultimately, if we don't choose, we'll be forced to surrender to Krishna in the form of death, right? And so that's the key thing to do, is to voluntarily surrender to Krishna, not wait to be forced to surrender to Krishna. And once. So, um, Prabhupada gives the example of the monkey school and the cat school. That's where this comes in. The monkey school is where the no, well, no, the monkeys, not the monkey and the sorry, but he gives the example of the cat who holds the kitten in her teeth and who holds. 1 second. The cat holds the kitten in her mouth, and when she holds a kitten in her mouth, then she's also holding the kitten between her teeth. But what does the kitten feel? The kitten feels protection. The kitten knows that, I'm being protected when I'm between the teeth of the cat. But what does the rat feel when the same teeth are holding the rat? A great sense of fear, right? Both of them need to come between the teeth of the cat. But one who does it willfully in the relationship of love, such a person becomes the such a person becomes connected with Krishna. But one who does it without surrendering to Krishna, at the end they must surrender to him. The ultimate plan of the Lord is to purify the consciousness of the conditioned souls within the world. Krishna is merciful to the devotee who carry out his will. He gives them the credit, although he is the actual doer of the action. So when Arjuna sees the universal form, the eye-opener is that everything has already been done. And Srila Prabhupada also says this, that Lord Chaitanya says, Yare dekho tare kaho, Krishna upadesh, amara gya hoy, guru hoy desh. And then he says, Nagaradigram sarvatra hoy, prachare now. That in every town and village, my name will be chanted all over the world. So Prabhupada says the fact that Krishna has said it and wants it, it's already been done. He's already fulfilled it. Then he says, the only question is if we want to help him. And then he says, though the devotee doesn't want credit, he says, then our choice is if we want to get the credit to help him, or to be an instrument, not help him, to be his instrument in sharing this movement all over the world. So Prabhupada, that's why he came to America, because he was so confident that if Lord Chaitanya said it, and this is the quality only a pure devotee can have, then it must be true all over the world, every town and village. Krishna's name will be chanted. So he said, I just have to be the instrument. It's going to happen. My job is just to try my best. And if it happens through me, it happens through me. If it doesn't happen through me, it will happen through someone else. So the devotee knows that Krishna is doing everything. We are not the doers. We should never feel proud or take credit for our work because we are not the doers. Krishna is the doer. We are simply the instrument. And that's why a person who actually takes credit is a thief, right? Because why? What is the definition of a thief? Oh, what is the definition of a thief?
Oh, a definition of a thief is when you take a object from some from so you take someone else's rights without asking permission.
Very nice. Okay, very good. So the definition of a thief is someone who takes something that belongs to another, that belongs to another person. So the credit belongs to Krishna. And when we say that, no, this is my doing, then we're being a thief because we are taking credit for what actually belongs to Krishna. So I want to read this verse for you. This is a very special verse. So let's see if I can do this. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kalosmi Lokakshayakrit Pravriddho Lokan Samahartum Iha Pravritta Ritepi Tvam na Bhavishyanti Sarve Yevastita Pratyanikeshu Yodha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Purport. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas, as stated in the Katha Upanishad 1:225. Yasya Brahma cha Kshatram cha Ubhe Bhavata Odana Mrityuryasyopasayanam Sechanam Ko Ittha Veda Yatra Saha. Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant. And here Krishna presents himself in the form of all-devouring time. So, how is it that Krishna wins every battle? Right? Why is it that whenever a demon fights with him, or everyone ultimately must succumb to Krishna? Why? Because Krishna, everyone, all the greatest Kshatriyas, all the leaders, everyone, though they may be undefeated, they must all be defeated by the wheel of time. Krishna's form is time. And that's why no one can win Krishna, because the very wheel that they are living on, that is Krishna. And that wheel, as it turns, it crushes everything that's on that wheel. Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam gives a metaphor that the living beings are like ants on the wheel. And as the wheel turns, it crushes everything. Living beings, planets, everything. We've got one, circle of time before we get crushed, right? so, so no one can destroy the Lord. No one can avoid the Lord. And this time is compared to a wheel. It's circular, And that's Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra, right? That's why everyone, all the demons, once Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra was revealed, was released, it had they had to surrender. There's no way to counteract that. You never read anywhere in any literature that Lord Vishnu or Krishna released their Sudarshan Chakra and it, just didn't do anything. Because that Sudarshan Chakra is time itself. Everything must surrender eventually by or under the power of time. And that's really the limiting factor of this world. This is why also we know that there is a God. This is why we know that Krishna is God, because because in this world there's everything is temporary, and it's the recognition or the realization of the temporality of the world that makes us inquire about what is permanent, right? If time didn't exist, we didn't need to inquire what's permanent, because that is the permanent world that we have. So the basis of spirituality is also the recognition of time. Once people recognized I have less time, then they become serious in spiritual life. Before that, not so much seriousness, because time must be there. See, time is the limiting factor. Yes, very nice verse that's being given in the in the chat. Shinita Charandas has given it. Mrityu sarva haraschaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirti shirvak narinam smritir medha dhritik shama. I am all devouring death, and I am the generator of all things yet to be. Among women I am fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. Right? So in chapter 10, we covered this verse. So let me see here. I don't think we have. Actually, this chapter is quite long. There's a lot of, I'm going to skip this one. And there's a lot of text in this one. So after seeing Krishna's universal form, which we actually need to read a little bit, I'm just kind of, going through this a little quickly. But after seeing all that, then Arjuna recites prayers that are very beautiful. And these prayers, they are really like almost my favorite part of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's prayers to Krishna. Krishna's words are so beautiful. And when Arjuna praises Krishna and prays to Krishna, they're so beautiful. Arjuna has just witnessed the Lord in his powerful and opulent Vishwarupa. In awe, he offers prayers and glorification. He appreciates how the Lord is above all other beings and is the refuge of the world. After this, Arjuna, still awestruck, remembers his previous relationship of friendship with Krishna and begs forgiveness for his familiarity in those dealings. Right? So he prays to the Lord. He says, "You are the Supreme Lord." And then he apologizes that, I forgot just how great you are. So I want to read this for you, a few verses here. I'm going to switch over to the other screen again. Okay. Arjuna Vacha. Arjuna said, "O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. O Great One, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless One, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invisible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. You are the air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the greatest grandfather, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again. Like Raghunath Das Goswami, he would offer 1,000 obeisances to the Lord every day, and he would offer 2,000 obeisances to the devotees. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. So the recognition or the realization is that when you understand that Krishna is so great, he's so powerful, he is so wonderful, that he is worthy of being offered obeisances 1,000 times. That's why Raghunath Das Goswami is offering 1,000 obeisances to the Lord every day, because even that is not enough. The Lord is so wonderful. Then this is his regret. Thinking of you as my friend, I've rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. Krishna, they're in mad with love of Krishna. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends, O infallible one. Please excuse me for all these offenses. So what Arjuna did in love to Krishna, out of love, the embraces that he gave him and the friendliness that he was dealing with him with, that was only out of pure love, the highest love. And Krishna loved that love. He likes it when the devotee loves him so much. But Arjuna, being such a kind-hearted and wonderful devotee, says, please excuse me for all these offenses. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? You are the supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy, as a father tolerates the impudence of his son, as a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife. Please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Krishna, he's saying, I'm your friend, I'm your unalloyed devotee. So please forgive me. Please tolerate all the wrongs that I've done to you. Darwaja Bhagavad. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. So again, he's saying, no, I just want to see you as Krishna again. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So a question may be raised that why is it that after seeing the universal form, Arjuna doesn't just want to see Krishna again in his two-handed form? Why is it? Why does he say, now I want to see the four-handed form? And the reason being, because, because he knows that people will have the question, is Krishna the same person as Vishnu? So not only does he want to establish Krishna as the most powerful of all, the universal form, but he also wants to establish that Krishna is the same as Vishnu. And this is why that initial point we read, that Arjuna is not asking for himself. Arjuna is asking for others. He's a pure devotee who's concerned about the welfare of others, and he wants to establish for the world that Krishna is God. So he then asks that you please show your universal form. The Supreme Personality of God, it said, my dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you, by my internal potency, the supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. Right? So then Krishna immediately he agrees, and he's ready to show Arjuna that form. So this is Arjuna's prayers. So we read through this. So in commentary to Arjuna's prayer and apology, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes a very beautiful commentary on this. He writes such a nice commentary, describing and pointing out, being a Rasika Bhakta himself, that actually Arjuna is apologizing for his familiarity with Krishna, but actually Krishna was more pleased by Arjuna's familiarity than by his praise. He says, the Lord is more pleased with being criticized in the intimacy of love than with intimacy weakened by knowledge of his opulences. He says, Arjuna would call Krishna just Krishna and not Sri Krishna, although Krishna indicates that he is the son of Vasudeva, who was merely a minister, whereas Arjuna's father was a great warrior and emperor. Also, Krishna indicates, Arjuna, a member of the royal Pandava family, would refer to Krishna as Yadava, a member of the family unable to rule. Arjuna, a member of the royal Pandava family, would refer to Krishna as Yadava, a member of a family unable to rule. Why? Because the Pandavas were the emperors, the Yadavas were more like kings. They were actually, the Pandavas were more, the Kauravas, the Pandavas, the Kuru dynasty was more famous and powerful than the Yadava dynasty. Also, Arjuna would at times say, "Oh, my friend," as if being condescendingly kind, as in, although I am superior to you, out of my affection, I accept you as my friend. Oh, my friend. Now, aware of Krishna's actual position, Arjuna feels ashamed and begs forgiveness. So the question becomes is that what is the difference between Arjuna's affection and pride towards Krishna and the materialist pride? Right? He's saying, look, Krishna, I'm better than you. And that's why my kindness I'm accepting as a friend. The materialist also is thinking that they're God and they're being condescending toward Krishna. What is the difference? The difference is the central element, that they are mad in love after Krishna. We cannot imagine that state, and that's why we cannot imitate it. Arjuna loves Krishna so much that he loves him more than his own son. He doesn't lose uh, his determination when Abhimanyu dies, in the same way that he loses his determination when Krishna leaves this world. Then he's done. He has nothing in this world. Before he had everything. Even if he lost everything, he had everything if he had Krishna. So that affection, that feeling of superiority, that Krishna belongs to me, is the exhibition of intense and increasingly madness in love. It is not an expression of pride. It said that on a very high stage of bhakti, we feel that we belong to Krishna. But in the stage of prema, a devotee feels that no, Krishna belongs to me. And that's why I should take care of him. I need to serve him. Only pure devotees can see Krishna's two-armed supreme form. Finally, this point is being established. The most intimate feature of the absolute truth is a two-armed form of Sri Krishna. And that's why eventually Arjuna asked Krishna to return to his original confidential form. So only devotees of the Lord can obtain vision of the universal form. One must have demigod vision, divya chakshus, to see the universal form. But even the demigods are ever seeking an opportunity to see his two-armed form. The Lord's intimate feature is extremely rare, sududarsham, because he can only be seen when he reveals himself. Material qualifications are not useful. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is the only means to understand Krishna, because it attracts his mercy. Because of this, even the most learned philosophers cannot know Krishna if they are devoid of bhakti. Lord Krishna, in fact, Krishna's emphasis emphasizes the point by stating that he cannot be seen by penance, charity, Vedic study, or worship alone. So he tells Arjuna that this form that you are always seeing is so rare that even those who perform great penances, charity, study all the Vedas, and worship me continuously cannot see it. It can only be seen when I choose to show it to someone. And who will be that someone? Who I trust, who I become attracted to, and who attracts my mercy. Their selfless surrender, their love, prema bhakti, is what attracts Krishna to give his mercy and allows one to see the form. Nothing else, only unalloyed, pure devotion to Krishna. Text 53, the form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes. Right here we see in this picture, this beautiful picture. Krishna says, cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So, this isn't the case because you said it, or I said it, or even Srila Prabhupada said it. This is the case because Krishna is saying it. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service. What type of devotional service? Undivided. People say, oh, you all are so fanatical about Krishna. You only think about Krishna. You only worship Krishna. Why you ignore the other gods and goddesses and the other avatars of Krishna? We do that because Krishna says in the Gita, only by undivided devotional service. In Christianity, there's a famous kind of phrase that God is a greedy God, that the God is a greedy God. Why they say this? How can God have greed? Because the Lord wants our undivided service. He's greedy. If our service, if our love is divided in between many gods, then Krishna is not pleased. That does not attract Krishna. He wants our he wants us 100%, right? The gopis of Vrindavan have given themselves 1000% to Krishna. That's why Krishna has given himself to them. They have, they have no other motivation, no other desires, undivided devotional service. So if through mind, body, and words, our only goal in life is to love and serve Krishna, then we can actually conquer Krishna. We can conquer the heart of Krishna. We can attract Krishna's mercy. But the problem is it has to be undivided. We have so many agendas in this world. Like I think the reason why I'm, less successful in this world is because I do so many things. I don't put a complete effort into one thing. Anyone, if they can make up their mind and just put their effort in one thing, they become world famous. But we're not able to do that because nothing fully satisfies us. In the same way, if we are many branched, if our intelligence is going everywhere, then that doesn't satisfy Krishna. But if we have undivided attention to Krishna, full heart, 100%, wholly and solely Krishna, then we can attain Krishna very soon. Prabhupada, we have more or less seen Krishna as a Vishwarup during wartime in Calcutta in 1942. There was a siren, and we ran into a shelter, and the bombing began. In this way, we were seeing that Vishwarupa, and I was thinking, of course, this is also just another form of Krishna. But this is not a very lovable form. A devotee wants to love Krishna in his original form, and this Vishwarupa is not his original form. Being omnipotent, Krishna can appear in any form, but his lovable form is that of Krishna, Shama Sundar. A devotee wants to love Krishna in his original form. Very interesting point, Prabhupada says. Although a man may be a police officer, when he is at home, he is a beloved father to his son. But if he comes home firing his revolver, the son will be so frightened that he will forget that he is his beloved father. Naturally, the child loves his father when he's at home like a father. And similarly, we love Krishna as he is in his eternal abode in the form of Shama Sundara. And similarly, we love Krishna as he is in his eternal abode in the form of Shama Sundar. Prabhupada, such a nice way of explaining. I mean, like this one paragraph is like the melodies of a kirtan, right? Yeah, so many points he's brought in this one thing, so meticulously, right? So he's saying, just like a son likes the father at home like a father, similarly, the devotee loves Krishna at home in Vrindavan like a homely person. That is Shama Sundar, Krishna's most beautiful Shama Sundar form. If he comes home firing his revolver, the son will be so frightened. In the same way, when the devotee sees the same Lord as the Vishwarupa, he's not, so satisfied by it because he wants to see the loving form of his father. So he still recognizes the Lord. He's not afraid of him, like Prahlad Maharaj, like Arjuna. But they ultimately want Krishna as Krishna. That's why the gopis, when they came, if they're fully surrendered to Krishna, then when they came to Kurukshetra, why weren't they fully satisfied by seeing Krishna in Kurukshetra? Why did they say, come back to Vrindavan? Because they want Krishna back home. That's his sweetest form. That's who he truly is. And they want to worship Krishna in his original form. That is the Lord in Vrindavan as Shama Sundara. That's who God truly is, right? People who are worshiping God as the judge, as the fearful master, as a controller, they are not worshiping who he truly is. Those who are worshiping him as the loving Krishna or the loving personality of Godhead in any form, but the affectionate form of the Lord, they truly know Krishna. Okay, so here we are, end of chapter. We covered the whole chapter this time. That was the goal. We had to now start moving faster also. So pretty nice chapter, very powerful, also very you could say beautiful and simple also. So if there's any comments or questions, please raise your hand. Okay, Rupal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I have heard there is a uppercut and prakat leela. So in uppercut, Krishna never left Vrindavan.
Hmm.
So how do we connect with the prakat leela? If Krishna never, it is difficult to absorb it little bit.
So that's I think one time we were discussing it maybe in our nectar devotion class when we were doing nectar devotion that is the inconceivable or unique aspect of bhakti, that though the Lord never leaves his devotees, he never leaves them. He's always within the heart of the devotee, and the more the devotee meditates on the Lord, the closer he is. So though the Lord never leaves his devotees, when the Lord leaves, the devotee feels separation. Though he never leaves Vrindavan, when he leaves externally, though, as you're saying, in his aprakata lila, he's still there, the devotees still feel his separation. Because he hasn't left, but he is still left. And one time, His Holiness Indradumna Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada this same question that you're asking, that if the disciple always feels the presence of his spiritual master, then why does he feel separation and lamentation when the spiritual master leaves the world? Why does he cry when the spiritual master leaves? Which Prabhupada says a disciple should cry when the spiritual master leaves this world. And Prabhupada, when asked this question, he said, when you will come to that situation, you will understand. When you come to that level, you will understand, he said. Because it's both, right? Krishna is Krishna in all ways, in all forms, in all places. But still, when he's standing before you, Shama Sundar Krishna, he's standing before you. So he never leaves, but he still leaves. How are both possible? That's Krishna, inconceivable. Right? So Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. You're absolutely correct. But when he leaves Vrindavan, then the gopis go mad out of separation from Krishna. If Krishna is there and you're feeling his presence, they're the greatest devotees of the Lord, why would they go mad in separation? So he must not be there. That's why they're going mad in separation. Yet the more they go mad, the more they feel Krishna's presence, the more ecstasy they feel. And that's why Viraha Bhakti is such a special devotion, because it's separation. It's like a bitter poison, Prabhupada says, actually. It's like burning. Yet, at the same time, it's the sweetest feeling of affection and ecstasy for Krishna. Because in that separation, they're feeling the highest happiness, higher than in union. They're feeling a greater bliss, a greater bhakti, a greater happiness than even in union. In the material world, this is not the case, but in the spiritual world, it is. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. My pranams to you. Thank you for you wonderfully explained. So, can I think as it as a leela, prakat leela kind of way? Prakat leela is there this way to understand? Like it's like a leela, prakat leela.
His leaving is a lila.
So, yeah, his separation with gopi is like a
Ah,
leela in a physical world.
yeah, that's
Physical
the thing.
world.
Yes, yes, very good. It's all a lila. It's all his pastime. You're absolutely right. And but even in that pastime, they're fully feeling Krishna's presence. So that's the inconceivable part. Is that how is it that due to the lila, the pastime, like you're saying, Krishna leaves, but actually he doesn't leave? How can both things be true? But it's true.
Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderfully explained. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Om.
Hare Krishna Brajana Pranam Desh Prabhaji. Thank you
Hare
for the wonderful class.
Thank you.
So I had a question based on Arjuna's prayers. So in Arjuna's prayers, he says that, oh, I regret that how I considered you as a friend in our love and madness. I called you this and that. So he expresses his regret. But Krishna already says in 9.26 how he accepts everything that is of love, and that's what he actually wants is love.
Mm-hmm.
Now Arjuna literally says that I did it out of love and madness. So Krishna is happy that he did it. I mean, you already mentioned that he is a kind soul, but is there any other reason why he's still regretting, even though he knows
Yes.
that it's going to make Krishna happy?
Your question is very nice. Then why is he feeling unhappy if, as a pure devotee, he knows that this makes Krishna happy? Because, see, even though the devotee loves Krishna so much and does it only out of love, but still the devotee's desire is to always respect the Lord, right? I mean, you have to respect God, right? So when he realized, oh my gosh, he's God, he's not just my friend, then he feels, oh, I disrespected him. So he knows that Krishna appreciates his love fully, but he's feeling that in that love, I may have crossed some boundaries, right? Just like people love you, right? And out of their love, they come and embrace you or wrestle with you. Now, if they love you so much and they come and slap you, well, you love me, but you crossed a boundary here. You can't slap me, right? So in the same way, uh, he knows it pleases Krishna, but I was chiding Krishna. I was telling him, hey, you're less than me. I am the emperor, And again, it was only out of love, but still he wants to apologize. Very nice. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji, for the answer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Divya Bhakti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for yet another wonderful class. So you said the time factor transforms matter according to his cosmic plan. So when referring to the Paramatma, so is the matter like, say, our bodies moving from, as the verse goes, from boyhood to youth to old age? Is that the transformation, or is he referring to something else?
Everything, right? So this world is called samsara, right? Samsara, the Sanskrit word comes from the root srij. And this root srij means to flow, like a river flows down the mountain, like it rushes down the mountain. So if you go up to the Himalayas, you'll see the Ganges with the force that it rushes down the mountain. You don't even see anything that's put into the river. It'll all be gone, right? So there's also the Buddhist saying that you don't step in the same river twice. It actually comes from, the Vedic scriptures. So this world is fundamentally change, right? Srij means that which changes, constantly flowing. The world is not permanence. So time is transforming everything, our bodies, first and foremost, like you said. The world, the air, the light, the sun, the homes, everything is like, and that's why it's the ladle. It's constantly churning it. Everything is flowing through. It's from the cosmic point of view, it's like flying by like a speck in time. Did that answer fully your question, or I got?
Yeah, it did. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, this is actually an important point, that this world is not called the world of stability or permanence. The very name of this word samsara means that which flows, and what's making it flow? That's time. So everything is under the control of time. Everything is moving. Everything is accomplished and lost because of time. Unless time is there, nothing can move forward, right? We would just be stuck in the immediate moment. So it is only time that moves things forward. Thank you. Shinita Charan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. So, another wonderful class, like Mataji mentioned. It's amazing that this chapter is awe-inspiring. Like Arjuna felt like he was shaking. So one question I have is, Krishna says, and also you read in the purport, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Krishna says. So even entire Pandava Sena was killed. Is that what the
Yes.
understanding should be?
Yes. And then I skipped that verse. I just to that point. I skipped that half of the purport. I did 2/3 of the purport, but skipped the
Correct.
last part. Where Prabhupada, the next point he makes is, except for the Pandavas, everyone else is killed. And a few more people, due to certain blessings they had or certain, benedictions. So Krishna, respects all of the, benedictions of the demigods and sages. Those three people didn't die, who was Ashwatthama, Kripacharya, and I think maybe Kritavarma. But the Pandavas, Parikshit Maharaj, and those three, everyone else was gone.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So your corollary of that is like everyone who has died in that war in presence of Krishna, we hear like they go back to Godhead. I mean, the two subconscious in that. I mean, there are different muktis, right? Sayujya
Right.
mukti and all. So, did all those soldiers who died, what kind of a destination had? And did Duryodhana also went back to Godhead, or are there any difference of opinion on that?
Oh, Duryodhana. Oh, I see. See, Duryodhana is actually a demon who's taken human form. He's a demon on the divine level. So, in the beginning of the Mahabharata, there's actually a scene where the demons say, look, on the Svarga level, we cannot fight with the demigods. They're too powerful right now. So we're going to go down to the earthly planet and take birth there, enter wombs there, and then take over the earthly planet, because the earth is like food for the demigods. It's food for Svarga. If you stop all the pious activities, all the yagyas on earth, the demigods don't have food. That's where they get their strength from. It's like the government is so wealthy, prosperous, it has treasuries. Where does it get that from? From taxes. So it gets it from the people in the form of tax, and then it becomes very prosperous. Same thing are the devas. They're running this universe. Their taxes are the yajna that is done. That's where they get the wealth from. So they say, we're going to weaken them on earth, and then they will lose in Svarga. So they do that. As soon as they do that, the demigods see, well, they've come to earth. Now we also need to go to earth to counteract them on the earthly level, right? So they take birth then, the demigods take birth in the wombs of godly persons on this earth to fight the demons on the earthly planet. So this battle of Kurukshetra is actually, on the cosmic level, it's a battle between the devas and the asuras. And this is why, in fact, right, each of the Pandava brothers is a partial incarnation, so to say, of one of the devas, right? Yudhishthira is Dharma. Dharma comes, and that Arjuna is Indra, right? He conceives. He isn't him, but Indra's Shakti goes into Arjuna because he conceives through Kunti. Surya is Karna. He ends up on the wrong side, right? His energy comes with Karna. Nakul and Sahadev are the Ashwini Kumaras. Bhima is Vayu, right? So all of them are the different devas. And then so many others, on the side of the Pandavas, and they have this great battle. So it's actually, the Mahabharata is happening on many different levels. So Duryodhana, to answer your question, is killed by the Lord like the demons, well, by a devotee of the Lord in the presence of Krishna. So maybe he gets Sayujya Mukti. Like Shishupal did, he merged into the body of the Lord, because they get mukti, but to get the spiritual world, one has to be anukulena Krishna anushilanam, has to be favorably disposed to the Lord. So any form of thinking of Krishna is devotional service, but unless it is favorably done for Krishna, it is not pure devotional service. And because Duryodhana was not favorably doing devotional service to Krishna, he could not get Krishna right after that lifetime. Of course, if those who came down like Jay and Vijay had 3 births, they were pure devotees, but they just had a curse to fulfill, that's different. They can go back to the spiritual world. But Duryodhana was not of that category.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Bhavya, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. Um, so I had a question, kind of a follow up to what Rupal Mataji and Om were saying. So in both questions, I think the idea was that there was this partial forgetfulness, right? That Arjuna knows that what Krishna would like, that kind of love, and more on a more intimate level, right? But he still felt shame for having been too familiar with him. So I was wondering, are these kinds of things workings of Yoga Maya to kind of facilitate all the leelas that are happening?
Yes, of course. So we are under Maya in this material world, and we're trying to get out of Maya, Krishna's Mahamaya. But the devotee is praying to come under Krishna's Yoga Maya. And coming under Krishna's Yoga Maya is the greatest benediction of everyone. So again, see, now we are going from the level of ethics to aesthetics, from the level of reason and logic to the realm of emotion and feeling. So remember, again, it's similar to Om's question and then response, that logically speaking, what Arjuna is doing is giving Krishna the greatest pleasure. But now what he's doing is also giving Krishna the greatest pleasure. On the level of logic or ethics, he doesn't need to apologize. But on the level of aesthetics, he needs to apologize. Meaning on the level of rasa, that Krishna, you are the Lord and Master, and I was calling you like you little schoolboy. I'm so sorry about this. Of course, that gives Krishna pleasure. But when you see someone so great, your response is going to be like this. But I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about this. So there's no fault in Arjuna in either way. That is the point, you see. But he needs to feel this way because this is the exchange of love. Love means respect, right? And because he loves Krishna so much, he was thinking of him as younger than him, and so then he was loving him that way. But when he realized he's Krishna, then he was loving him that way. So yes, Yogamaya helps in that. Yogamaya helps us in forgetting that God is so great. Mahamaya
And
helps us forget God, and that's
God.
Brahma.
And is it the same for the kind of separation that the gopis feel for Krishna as well? Is that also facilitated through Yoga Maya? I mean, that was another question I had.
Yes, everything is through Yoga Maya. There always needs to be Maya, right? Nothing can exist without Maya. Maya, in its most broadest term, means energy or the power of the Lord. So we cannot exist in a vacuum. We are either under Krishna's Mahamaya or under Yoga Maya. Mahamaya is arranging so many ways for us to forget Krishna. And Yoga Maya is arranging so many ways to help the devotees forget that Krishna is God. It's so powerful. But
Right.
if we're under Yoga Maya, then Yoga Maya is creating the stage, they're creating the worlds, creating the atmosphere, creating the feeling of distance. But at the same time, it's not like a drama. It is a real world. It's also real feelings. But yes, Yoga Maya is the world, right? Yoga Maya is creating the world. It's creating that feeling, that the forgetfulness. It's allowing us to forget Krishna. So it's the real world because it's eternal. It's not just a temporary drama. A drama means a temporary performance. When that temporary performance becomes eternal, it becomes reality. So it is actually reality. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Very nice point. Lavanya Mataji, you had your hand up. You can do the last one if you're still there.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. No, it's just minor. You were talking about Duryodhan not getting, mukti because, but I think Krishna said in second chapter only that, whoever fights in the battle, yeah, he's actually liberated.
Yes. Yes. Now, so liberation, but there's different types of liberation, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
to those who are inimical to Krishna, the Nectar Devotion says they get Sayujya Mukti. They get Mukti, they get liberation, but it's not the ultimate liberation. Now, of course, there may be some exceptions, and actually, I've never read anything specific about Duryodhana's destination after this life. If someone has, please share it. Actually, it would be very interesting to know that. But as far as the other demons who came and killed and were killed by Krishna, who came and fought with Krishna, they were killed in front of Krishna, right in front of his eyes.
Yes, yes.
So they didn't receive Golok Vrindavan; they received Sayujya Mukti.
Ayuja Mukti. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. So similarly, Duryodhana, unless other information is provided, most likely got that. Yes, Rupal Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So Shishupal, sometimes it is difficult for me to understand because he was envious and he got Sayuja Mukti because I understand it is 100% mercy from Krishna, right? Or else someone who is envious, one need to be above the three modes of material nature. They need to be in transcendental. To be in transcendental, you need to get rid of that enviousness, right? So here, right? Please go ahead.
No. See. The thing is actually in the case of Shishupal and Dantavakra, they were Jain Vijay in human form, in demon form. So they actually go back to Vaikuntha Lok.
Oh, Shishupal went to Vaikuntha. They did not have Sayuja Mukti. Okay.
So he goes right into the body of the Lord, right? His soul
Yes.
goes, and then Prabhupada describes that. Of course, we know through Gaudiya tradition they become Jaga and Madhai again.
Yeah.
But right after that, it's like they enter the Lord, but then they don't just stay there in Sayuja Mukti. They go back as Jain.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, thank you. I made a mistake. Yeah,
No.
but generally, who is envious, they will not get Sayuja Mukti, right? One has to be above three modes of material nature, right? Above transcendental. That's my understanding. Right, Prabhu?
But if they're killed by the Lord, they get purified.
Oh, yeah.
When all the gunas are purified, everything's purified. But because the bhakti is not there, they can't immediately get that liberation.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dandavad Pranam. Thank you.
Okay, last question, Balaram. Is he still there?
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for the very good class.
Hare Krishna.
I just had a small question that why can we see Krishna with our eyes? How did Arjuna see with his eyes Krishna?
Wow. That's not a small question. It's a very big question. And so, yes, how can we see him with our eyes? Only by devotional service, by developing bhakti, prema for Krishna. That's what Lord Brahma says, right? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. So how can Arjuna see him? He sees him because he has pure love for Krishna. In the same way, if we get pure love for Krishna, then we can see Krishna. Otherwise, we cannot see Krishna. And if we develop that love for Krishna, gradually we will see him. Perfect conclusion. So that's the take-home point. Let's develop love for Krishna so we can also see Krishna. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much. Dandavad Pranam. All glories to Shri
Thank you,
Prabhupada.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.